Right, welcome to this new video that we've got for you guys on the channel. Just like to say thank you very much for everyone that's supported the channel so far with the YouTube, you know, liking and subscribing it, commenting on all our videos, just motivating us to get some more out there for you. So I really do appreciate all the support that I've been getting. And just a little intro basically, the stack offs, some of you that do know, I've been doing some live Bully XL stack offs on the Instagram page. We've went viral before, where we've hit up nearly 500 views. We've had the likes of like Bossy Kennel's Cat in our live. You got Dre from BGK on the lives as well. You know, some big kennels out in America. So what I've actually come up now with is actually we're going to do a big competition. A couple of friends over from the States, they've got some very good platforms and they do some good lives over there as well. So they've asked me if we would do a little competition between, a friendly competition stack off between USA and the UK. We've got some real good smokes. I feel like we'd have a very good competition with them. What we've started off with, I think we should do 10 males and 10 females. I'm going to go ahead and pick 5 of them myself that I'm going to try and get up on the platform and do some stack offs to represent the UK. And then what I'm going to be doing is some weekly stack offs with the UK for people to decide who they think will be a good competitor to represent the UK against in the stack off with the United States studs. A couple of my friends have already got a couple good kennels that are already ready to be involved and get involved in all this, so it's going to be some really good platforms, some good content for everyone. Even with the stack offs that I've been doing, a lot of studs in America, people have seen them now obviously on the platforms, because you can't see them everywhere. Everyone ain't following everyone, so when we jump in on these lives, people see them jump on and they think, yeah, right, let's have a little look, and then look into them. A couple of UK kennels have actually locked in with some of these studs that have actually been on the stack off, so it's very good. It's just showing that, you know, that stack offs are actually doing something and opening their eyes to other kennels as well. I've seen some really nice dogs on that stack off that I would have never have seen if I didn't have that platform on. So yeah, and the stack offs is literally for everyone. It's not for professionals. I'm not a professional by far. I'm still learning the trade and stuff. I'm still going ahead, and I've just been in the ring. I've done a few things and we've got a couple of good results. It's more for practice for everyone as well, you know. It gives you a reason to get your dog up, have a little stack off, have some time with your dog, bond with it, and actually learn with us all on there, and actually, you know, progress with your dog. We'll talk about that a little bit more into the video when we get into it. So yeah, the stack offs is going to go off really well. Make sure you lock on the platforms, so have a little look. I'm going to be putting a banner up for you guys to have a little look, so it will all be advertised so everyone can get involved and have a little go. And yeah, going on to the TikTok, we've just opened up the platform on TikTok. I've just done a wicked video on there. It's actually trending as we speak. All it was is just me running around in the yard with the dogs, a few of the dogs out in the yard and doing a few things, but we're over nearly 500,000 views now on that video. So just want to say again, thank you to all the TikTok followers and stuff, people that are helping me push that. So I'm going to be opening that platform up now as well. And we've also got, me and Central Kingdom have just opened up a new Frenchie department, basically, where we've got so many different things coming for you guys. We want to be putting them on all different platforms for you to see clearly, so it won't just be a mismatch of everything. So we've got the Frenchie office Instagram page. We're going to have a TikTok page for that as well. I don't know if you've seen it. I've just put a video up last week about one of the Frenchies that we've added to the program. So we've got some really nice Frenchies to be showing you on that page as well. So yeah, I look forward to everyone just locking in and seeing all what we've got coming up. And yeah, going from there basically. So today's video is going to be about 15 tips that I can give you that I've learned along the way that I think might help you guys, and give you a little thing that not everyone likes to give, you know. A lot of people know the knowledge and stuff, but they don't like to give it up. I had to learn this whole trade, the bully industry, shall I say. I had to learn my passion through myself, through experience and doing as much research as I possibly could. So yeah, I'm just going to give you some tips and see what you guys think of them and see if they'll help you along the way, you know. So let's start by, don't rush your process. Don't rush the process. What I mean by don't rush in the process is don't force your dog to do anything. Let your dog be itself. Enjoy your bond that you have with him or her, and then just enjoy yourself with it, you know. Don't rush into anything. It will grow into what it is with the genetics that you've bought into. So yeah, basically just enjoy your time with it. Don't force it with any exercises. Don't force it with any extra food that it don't need, and just basically let it be itself, you know, all in good time. Number 2, have a vision. So make sure when you come into this, I understand that some people are obviously learning as they go along, so having a vision is going to be hard from just jumping in. But when I say have a vision, is just if you like the look of something, it doesn't mean to say you can't like the look of someone's dog, but just put a little twist on it. You know, try better in the breed every time you do a breeding, and try put something else that's going to put a bit more a look into something that's going to be a bit more yourself. You know, for instance, you've got like Bossy Kennels. They've got a very nice look about them. Their dogs, you can tell it's from there. Florida State Bullies, the same there. Iron Cross dogs, RCP dogs, you can see from the frames, the Juggernaut frames, and do you know what I mean? You can just tell from the visions from people's along the way. So just come into this game with a vision basically, or grow along the lines of making a vision. Just stay in your lane. Just stay in your own lane. Don't try copy no one else, and just do yourself. Don't worry about no one else. Just concentrate on what you want to do with your dogs. It's not going to happen straight away going to the first one again. Do not rush it. It's going to take some time to get what you want, so just take your time with it basically. Number 3, don't overfeed your dog. What I mean by that is obviously as it's growing, all the bones and the joints have not fused yet as a puppy. It takes up to at least 8 months for them to really start fusing up. And as you see the front of their forearm, you'll see like a lump on the front of their forearm, and that's perfectly normal. It's a sign of their bones not being fused yet. So you don't want to be putting no excess weight on top of that dog while it's young and stuff, because you could potentially ruin the structure of your dog as well. So if your dog's got a nice top line and you're putting a bit too much weight onto that dog, you can actually start bridging in the back and causing a high rear, making the elbows come out and stuff, and you can actually cause environmental dysplasia as well by putting too much weight on your dog. And it's one of the main things that someone comes up to me in a link up and says to me, how much is your dog weigh? How much is your dog weigh? I don't weigh my dogs like that. The only time my dogs get weighed is when I have to go to the vets or something like that, you know, or we're at a fertility clinic or something like that. That's got scales we'll put the dog on just out of curiosity, you know. So yeah, don't weight watch, you know. Just because your bully weighs more than the others, it doesn't mean to say your bully's better than anyone's, you know. It's about better in the breed and what's going to make the breed last longer and put a good perspective on the actual whole breed itself. So yeah, basically just don't overfeed him basically or her. Adding value into your program is very important as well. What I mean by adding value into your program, it means if you want your dog to be something and you want everyone to notice it and stuff like that, say you've got an up and coming stud or something, or you've bought a dog to become a stud, it's not just going to happen because he's got a good dad. Even though it's going to help you having the right bloodlines, don't get me wrong, it's just not going to happen overnight. So you've just got to really put the work in with your dog, make sure you don't rush it, you have a vision, and obviously you have the right dietary for him and stuff as well. And yeah, just basically meet up with different photographers. You've got Canine Media out there, Photo Fella, there's all different ones out there, do you know what I mean? So yeah, just make sure you meet up with them, get some good photos for your Instagram, you know, make it look good for your page and that as well. Make sure you just go out with him or her and just basically meet up in the link ups, go meet up with different people, socialize. Networking is key into your program, you know. People have, like I said, going back to the stack offs and stuff, it's important for you to get up on there, be brave enough to go and show your dog. People might really like the look of that dog and then follow your journey. So yeah, it's very important that you add value into your program. It's not going to happen overnight. Because you've spent a bomb on your dog doesn't mean to say he's going to be the next one. You know, you've got to make your dog the next one. I've put a lot of time and effort into some of my studs. I'll show you as along the way with the journey that we've done, and some of it has really paid off. So I'll show you how we done it basically. And yeah, basically another one, don't clout buy. Don't be just going to buy because the next one down the road's buying it, or your favourite kennel in the UK started to buy, so that's what I'm going to buy. And like I said, you're more than welcome to take tips and buy from the bloodlines that you want to buy from, but just make sure you're buying it for the right reasons, because everyone that's buying dogs should really have a reason why they're buying that dog or what they need it for their bloodline and stuff. So it's very important that you have a vision and you stick to what you're doing. Don't just buy it because the next one's buying it or this one's buying it. It's important that you come in and you concentrate on the dogs that are going to better your program. Yeah, just basically better the dog that what your dog lacks in is going to better it and stuff for your program. So yeah, it's very important. Don't just go out and buy from this person because everyone else is. So yeah, just go and do some homework, because you'll be very surprised at some of the bloodlines out there that no one's even bought from the UK, and they're actually deep into your dog's bloodlines, but you just wouldn't know because they're not that, you don't look that deep into it. So it's very important that you're buying into for the right reasons, researching your bloods before you put in two dogs together for breeding. All these questions and tips all lock in with each other basically. So like, just because there's a nice lovely stud out there and everyone else is using him doesn't mean to say it's going to work perfectly for your program. So make sure you look back into their bloodlines and their genetics, see what they throw, see what they're producing, and see what you need to add for your program and what's going to better your female. You should, when you come to breeding two pairs like that, you should always look at the benefits of what your female is going to bring to the table and what it lacks in as well. It's very important that you find the balance, because you might find a stud that you really like, he's got a mad spread on him, but he might have a crazy high rear on him. And if your girl's got a crazy high rear as well, it's going to be one of the harder flaws to get out of your program, which I'll go into deeper with another video in time about flaws and stuff into the breed and that. So yeah, just make sure you do your research again, make sure you're using the studs for the right reasons for your program. Again, that's one of the reasons that I would say don't rush into it and just follow everyone else. Looking at the flaws into your dog, what it lacks and what it don't lack. What I mean by that is obviously it's very good. Everyone's like, oh, look at the size of my girl, she weighs this, she weighs that. But it's important for you, if you want to better your program or better your breed, or better the vision that you have, is that you actually looking into what she's lacking and then trying to better that and correcting that with the right stud that you pick. Make sure you do your homework, look into everything that you do, and make sure when you do a breeding, you do as if you want to keep them all. You shouldn't be breeding for just for everyone. You should be breeding for the sake of yourself and your own program, and then everyone gets a bonus by getting to buy into your blood. That's how it should be. Next one, environmental training is important. Very, very important that you take your dog out to learn different sounds and different environments, going out to different surfaces on the floor and meeting different people and that, taking it to the pet shop, markets is very good environmental training, going to the Sunday market, walking it through the market, hearing all the different sounds and all the different people, touching the dogs and stuff. If you don't want it to touch, you don't even have to touch it, just going through for environmental training itself. Train stations are good as well, and very good to go there. All the people coming in and out, the sounds of the trains breaking and stuff, so that's very good training for your up and coming dog, and it just gets it over nerves and stuff like that. That's one of my tips for environmental, really. Stacking tips from puppies till when they're older. What I mean by stacking tips is, like, you can get stacking tables, you don't even have to buy them, you can make them as well out of crates and stuff. You can go onto YouTube channels and stuff. I might do a YouTube video, should I say, on how to make one, so yeah, stay tuned for that one, I'll do you one. But yeah, they're not hard to make, they don't cost a lot either, something you can do from home, but just do like 10-15 minutes a day, just practicing with him or her. Getting the right equipment, like the lead and stuff. You want to make sure you get a show lead, get used to being in the environments that it needs to. Environmental is very important, so it's not nervy in the ring. So that goes back to environmental is a very good stacking tip. It's one of the key things to even stacking is environmental. So when it jumps in the ring with all them different sounds and noises and colours and lights, all the environmental training that you've been doing all comes into it. And it's not very phased, so it's very important that you do the environmental. Stacking tips is just like, basically just make sure you can do it in front of a mirror, or even just use your phone. Even these live stack-offs are very good stacking tips, you know what I mean? So when you're on there, you get to see the posture of your dog, see what stance it is, and just see where you're placing the feet and stuff, and then what you do is once you get it into position and it starts to get used to being in the right position and stuff, just learn, teach it to have patience, and then just basically wait, do you know what I mean? Teaching in it, and in the end, if you can get it to just stand there like an ornament, then you're going to be laughing in the ring. But you're not going to get that by doing it for just 5 minutes a week, do you know what I mean? You've got to do it 10-15 minutes a day. More effort you put in, the easier and it will get in the end. People say, oh, it's a bit too energetic at the minute, I'll start her when she's a little bit older, or he's a little bit older. That's not the attitude. You just start from early. You got to have patience. Once you get it to where you need it, in the end it will just understand that you want him or her to stack, do you know what I mean? So yeah, just a couple of little tips. I will do a video on stacking dogs as well. I get a lot of questions on asking that, so I will get into that one day. So just bear with us, we're just getting into everything. Dog kennel setup essentials, just a little tips and advice. A couple people asked me, bloody wasp, a couple people asked me on what are the main things to have really for a good kennel setup, and it's not too much. Like hassle. Obviously I've put a lot of time and money into my kennel setup, but that doesn't mean to say you all have to do that. We all come from somewhere, and I understand that you have to elevate and put back into your program, which I have. So all you need really is good airflow. You need a really good airflow. Make sure that your dog's not claustrophobic. Like, you know, like it's not just, there's no flow in there. It's not going to be no good. It's like locking a dog into a bloody car. So yeah, no, you just want to make sure you get good airflow. You want to make sure it's got some shade at all times, and make sure it's always got some water. Concrete floor, if you just angle it down into the drain, so when it actually does like a wee in there or something, it will actually just run itself out into the ACO drains itself. Put the ACO drains on the outside of the bays. Reason why I say that is actually a part of getting a breeding license, but I will get into doing a video on actually how to get a breeding license, kennel set up for that. I've done my whole kennel 4 or 5 star breeding license, so everything I've got, I can just show you what the regulations have been asked from my side in my council. Every council is different, so what I get asked for in mine might be different to yours, but I'll explain to you what mine is, and then we can go from there. But yeah, that's the essentials. Make sure your dog's got a raised bed as well off the floors to keep it off the you know, all the mildew on the floor and stuff. And so yeah, just keep it in a raised bed or something, which will be really good for the dog, to make it more comfort for the dog and everything like that. So yeah, not too much to worry about, you know. Obviously you can go extra with it in the end, like I have, aircon and everything like that comes with it. But yeah, the essentials is basically airflow, shade, supply of water and food, like you guys already know. A raised bed is good, and then a concrete base that's angled down into the ACO drains, just to make sure the waste is away when you're not there. Cleaning tips, you can get these sage waters that I've got. They're very good. They come and you got to make sure that you get rid of the parvo out of the I'm not saying every kennel's got parvo, should I say, I shouldn't say it like that, but make sure that you're covering for parvo in your kennel setup and your facilities. So make sure that you parvo spray down. I do at least 2 times a week. I do the bacterial cleaning down, so I use all cleaning different products. I use a Flora for all my whelping boxes and stuff like that, all the different puppy rooms and stuff. Make sure you get the ones for dogs. It's important that you get the ones for dogs. And in the sage water, you clip it onto the hose, and then basically I go in there, and it's like chlorine. Basically it stinks. It just covers everything. You give it a good old bleach, let it settle in. Obviously make sure your dog's ain't in contact with it, and then just jet wash it all down. And you can then go in with it after and put like a disinfectant in there with like that cherry flavour or bubble gum, and then basically you just go in there and just make it smell a little bit nicer and stuff. But yeah, just make sure you clean all your drains out. Drains are important. I've got a very good drain set up here. It's cost me a lot of money to do. I had to dig up basically the whole garden before I even put the kennels down, and put down an underground setup basically for the waste to go away. I thought it was one of the main important things in having a kennel setup, is making sure you don't get them smells and stuff, so, and I can get rid of the waste like that. So yeah, it's important that I've done that. It's cost me a hell of a lot of money, but I will show you a video into doing that as well, when I do a video into showing you what we done to build my kennel. So yeah, just bear with us with that one. But yeah, that's a very important tip for you guys. Make sure your draining system's on point. Knowing when your female is ready for breeding. So knowing that your female is ready, basically, I like to do my female when she hits 50 NML. I know in the United States they don't use the NML, but in the UK we use normally we use the NML. So basically I like to hit the number 50. Sometimes people can do it up to like 40s, 45s and stuff like that. But normally you don't really want to be doing any breedings, like anything lower than like 40 really, because they can actually still go down. Anything from like 38, they can still drop. So yeah, you want to be waiting until they get around 40 mark, and then once they hit the 40 mark, they can't go back down, and then they've started ovulation. Then you know that you've got the gate then to hit it right. I like to hit 50s, then miss a day, and then do the second insemination just to double check, just to make sure. And people worry about when they're there, some of it comes out and stuff. A female can only hold 2.5 mil anyway, so sometimes we're putting 6 to 12 mil in there sometimes, so won't worry too much either about that side of things. So yeah, just make sure when you do when she has been done, bless her, you make sure you rest her up. She gets loads of rest, and yeah, you just wait, fingers crossed basically. So yeah, that's what I would give a tip on knowing when your female's ready. What to do before breeding your stud. What I do, I like to give them a course of wheat germ oil. Wheat germ oil always helps the mobility count on your semen on a male. So if you're struggling to get your male semen count up, or you're not too happy with the clarity of or the mobility that it's producing, I strongly advise you to use a weekly course of wheat germ. You don't have to, you can use it every day if you want. It's not going to hurt. It's good supplement for your dog anyway. But I use at least like 2 or 3 a day in their food for a week. If you use testing at the beginning of the week on a Monday, say, and it wasn't too good and the mobility wasn't all that, and then you used the course of that for a week, for 3 days solid, and then done it in a week's time, I guarantee you the mobility will be 10 times better. It will be unreal. So yeah, important that you use the wheat germ, I think. I've never had a problem. Enzo's flying like a Ferrari. So yeah, and then what I like to do as well, if the stud's young or he hasn't been worked for a little while, is clear him out before we actually come to doing the breeding. So then there isn't no all them dead cells and stuff like that. They've all been flushed out and cleared, and then everything that's ready to get ready when it comes to breeding, that he's ready to rock and roll then basically, and they're all going to be flying swimmers. So yeah, that's a little tip for you for before breeding the studs and that, you know. Tips for the first 2 weeks of having puppies: do not sleep. Just do not sleep. Yeah, sleeping is out of the picture. You want to make sure that you're there looking over the female and her pups, because they need to be feeding for every 2 hours for the first 2 weeks. Puppies cannot ovulate their own heat, so you need to make sure that their heat is in there. A lot of people actually concentrate too much on heat, start buying heat lamps and heat mats, and then their dogs are actually overheating. So don't overthink things too much as well. You know, you need to make sure that it's a nice, good, consistent temperature. You don't want to be like having the puppies to have consistent heat. They want to be able to make sure that they can get away from the heat as well. They're not that stupid, you know, they know how to get away, but you want to make sure that they have the supply of heat as well. You want to make sure that the female doesn't lay on the puppies as well, so that's why it's very important to be on night watch and day watch just 24/7 for the first 2 weeks. You just want to make sure everything just runs smoothly. So yeah, that would be my advice, is just basically do not sleep, embrace the whelp, try not to let it get to you too much. It can be quite morally draining, but just stay positive. I've had some hard times whelping some litters, I can assure you. Some things that make most people give up. You know, we're here, we're still here, and I still love my dogs. It's one of the things with dog breeding, you know, it's one of the passions is obviously that you're bringing life into this world, which is amazing. But one of the saddest things is obviously the hardest things that we got to deal with is dealing with death, which is horrible as well, which I've dealt with many of times, unfortunately. But this is it, rough with the smooth of everything. So yeah, it's very important, first 2 weeks. I'll go into depth with some past stuff and that as well in the future, but I thought I'd just brush on a few things today and just show you a few little bits and tips that I would do over the first 2 weeks, you know. And then last but not least is do not over exercise your dog. The reason why I say that is 70% of hips and elbows dysplasia can actually be caused by environmental. And what I mean by that is it's like too much weight on the dog, running it around like it's a pit bull, when it's not built like that. It's not built nowhere near the same as the frame as a pit bull. So it's very important that you don't over exercise it. Don't treat it like the last dog that you had. XL bullies are XL bullies, staffs are staffs, pit bulls are pit bulls, mastiffs are mastiffs, do you know what I mean? Cocker spaniels are cocker spaniels, it goes on. So yeah, just make sure you do your research into the breed, find out what you need to be doing. You don't really need to be exercising these like crazy for the first 12 months. I don't let none of my dogs jump out of boots. I don't let them jump on sofas. I don't let them go on stairs. The reason why I don't let them do that is because I don't want them to affect and hurt their joints, which can cause dysplasia, AC injuries and stuff like that. I've got a lot of dogs. I've had up to 26 dogs here at one stage, and I've never had not one AC injury in my kennel. And the reason for that is obviously I cannot afford for one of my dogs to do that. So everything is all scheduled and regulated like a regimented army here, and that's just to make sure that all my dogs are in the best perfect health that we possibly can. Accidents can happen, do you know what I mean? I've had an injury happen in one of my kennels, not the AC, but I've had one of my dogs injured where I've had to retire one of my studs. I'll actually do a video on that as well. We're going to do a checkup soon on how how the joint's getting on and stuff. So I'll get into that one in later on in life. But yeah, these are things that I've learned along the way. You know, like obviously with that hiccup that I had with my stud there, it's learned to like just be careful when acclimatizing different studs and bringing new members into the pack as well. So yeah, just take your time with everything and that, you know, and that's really it. Exercising it when it's 12 months and bones are fused, you can ready to rock and roll. The dog's, as long as your dog's functional and you've bought the right bloodlines and it can move and stuff, then you're going to be away and have a great time. But just don't rush it. Do you know what I mean? Just give it some time. Let your dog exercise right, build it up properly, and then in no time, before you know it, you'll be out with him or her and you'll be living your best life. And that's it. I hope that these tips today can all help you and give you some advice. I'm not saying these are all the things you have to do. These are just some advice that I've learnt along the ways, and I think that some of these tips might help some of you guys that are out there with the future of your kennels and your bloodlines and your future, and not even just your kennels, you know, with your pet as well. It's not, doesn't mean to say this is not just for breeders and stuff. This is for pet owners as well, and for anyone that just wants to learn about the breed, you know, people that doesn't really understand about it as well. So trying to put out these videos for people to understand a bit more about the breed and stuff, and for everyone to like just learn a little bit about it. And I hope you all enjoyed this video today. I hope you all follow the journey, like and subscribe my channel. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me. Also give us some feedback on the comments as well, on what tips, if you want me to bring out another video on some other tips as well, you lot to send over what you would like me to hear and explain, and I'm more than happy to do a video on how to help you guys as well, on your questions and advice as well. So yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this. We've got loads more content coming for you guys. Stay locked. I've got my website is up here. Then make sure that you hit up our Instagram, bullylairuk, and bullylairofficial, our TikTok, bullylairuk. Make sure you subscribe on this channel as well. Appreciate you all. That was wrapped up.